Alright, welcome back to Gab's Collection. Today I'm going to be talking about this Star Wars Black Series Ahsoka Tano figure. And this is my first one from, I guess, the what do you call it? The mainstream line, I guess. It wasn't an exclusive, and it wasn't from the archive line, so I guess you could call it the main Black Series line. And this is an older figure, so it doesn't have the photoreal on it. The photoreal face printing that sort of changed the game, as people say. That's why the faces of Obi-Wan and Anakin looked so great, because of that photoreal. This one doesn't have that. It's an older one. But for this type of figure, I think it's not too bad, considering it's an alien likeness. It's your standard Black Series box. It says number 20 there, Ahsoka Tano. It says Ahsoka on the side. And at the back here it says, Ahsoka Tano, Anakin Skywalker's apprentice. Ahsoka left the Jedi Order before it was destroyed during Order 66. She would reemerge years later as Fulcrum, a leader in the fledgling rebellion against the Empire. So this is how Ahsoka looked during Star Wars Rebels. It's not her Clone Wars look. And you can also tell, aside from her longer leku, they're called, I think, those tendrils. Aside from that, and the bigger things at the top, the horns, she's got these white, well, they're clear, but they're supposed to be white lightsabers there. In the Clone Wars, she had, was it green lightsaber? I don't remember. In Rebels, because she's supposed to be this gray Jedi, or not a Jedi at all, she has white lightsabers instead of the traditional blue or green, and one of them is a curved hilt there. So we'll talk about that more later. Let's open it up. It's a bit hard to talk about likeness with this one because it is an animated character, so we're not sure exactly what she would look like if she were in live action. No reference at all for who the actor would be, even. But I guess it looks good. You can't really fault it because of that. The leku, the tendrils and the horns, they do have a nice texture on them. There's this nice ridging going on that looks like a skin texture, which I never really thought about these being very textured, but there you go. There they are. Very fleshy looking. The face is well painted. It's one of the better paint jobs of the old Black Series figures, I think, because we've had really terrible ones. This one's pretty good. The eyes on mine are quite even. The tattoos are painted quite cleanly and quite evenly. But then I also can't help but think what it would look like with the photo reel. It would look much better. This is soft goods here. This skirt piece, which I guess makes for better articulation. I'm not sure. Maybe it does hinder it a bit even, because then she can't stretch her legs all the way up. You can pull it up if you wanted her to have a wider stance there. You've got these soft rubber pieces here for the armor. This piece is a separate piece, this chest plate there. And yeah, you've got this nice detail here on the forearms, those painted buttons. I'm not sure what those would even do. Maybe communications. These painted buttons there as well. Could be lights. No, I think they're buttons. And this buckle here is painted quite nicely. All this silver detailing here. And she has these two hooks on the side. So these are what hold her lightsaber hilts. I'm not going to take the blades out yet because I might forget which blade is for which. But yeah, they fit quite well on those hooks. This saber has a curved hilt, so it's sort of reminiscent of Count Dooku's lightsaber. But Asajj Ventress also had curved lightsaber hilts, and there's a bit of a curve on this one as well, actually. It's not just a perfectly straight cylinder. So there's not much to the hilts themselves. They're not chromed or anything. They are painted, but they're not like a really shiny chrome, which I think the Black Series doesn't do that much. So even C-3PO didn't have like a chrome gold finish in the Black Series. With the blades on this, they are white, I guess. They're translucent white. They're not just clear. So what I said earlier was wrong. They're not clear. They're translucent white. It's a bit hard to capture the look of a white lightsaber in plastic. It sort of doesn't work unless you have like an actual light source. So I think they did the best that they could with this. So now remember that the curved hilt comes with the longer blade, the short blade comes with the other hilt. But yeah, it works pretty well there. Fits quite well, and it doesn't look like it's going to fall out, so the hooks work quite well on this figure. There's this like pretty noticeable cut there for the elbow joint. So it's just a single jointed elbow, but it goes 90 degrees, which is about as far as the Obi-Wan figure goes for the elbow, and I think the same for Anakin. It goes that far. It's not too far, and it's not double jointed, but it's fine, I guess. Not ideal. She has this hinge here, so it can go up and down like that, and it swivels as well. It's not a ball joint, anything like that. Same with her other wrist, obviously. The articulation for the head's pretty static because of the leku. So I can see that she has a hinge there inside. So you could get her to maybe look down a bit. Yeah, I don't know if that did anything. Yeah, you get about this much. You get about this much. So it's not much, and that's pretty understandable, I guess. They could have gone with a softer plastic for the leku, but then maybe you'd have issues with durability, which is another problem. The old Bib Fortuna, though, the vintage Kenner Bib Fortuna, his leku were made of a really soft plastic, and they never really deteriorated. I mean, like, they're still around today after many decades, so I guess they could have done the same with this. Shoulders have a hinge and swivel up here as well, so it goes that far, which is pretty decent. There's a bit of a crunch here, so she goes that far forward and that far back, and because this is a softer piece, it doesn't hinder that articulation too much. So this goes side to side as well, goes all the way around like that. The hips, can't really tell what kind of joint it is, but it goes far that way because of the skirt. I'm not sure if I pulled the skirt up if it would make a difference even. Yeah, it does. So it goes a bit further if you pull the skirt up. So it goes about that far, and the widest stance you can get is sort of like to here. I don't know why you'd want a wider stance than that. Knees are double jointed, but they don't go that far. So they don't actually... Yeah, it feels like I'm stressing the plastic if I go further than this. So it doesn't go as far as the Obi-Wan knees do. So maybe I was wrong about it being more articulated than a chunkier figure, or maybe it was just how Hasbro did things back in the day. But potentially this could have been a more articulated figure. Knees go that far, they don't swivel or anything like that. The ankles are on a rocker here, so they go this way. And the ankles can go all the way around. The legs go like this far back if you yeah, they can kick this far up, I guess. I think that's it for articulation. The detail I already talked about. So the paint is pretty crisp on mine. There's not much slop. There is a bit. The silver paint sort of bleeds there a bit there, but it's not too major. The buttons are painted well within the lines, so that's pretty good. I think she works pretty well with the other Black Series figures. Paint job does sort of hinder it a bit in terms of that, because if I stand these beside each other, these three, you can sort of tell that Obi-Wan and Anakin have like more realistic faces than Ahsoka does, but it's not too bad. I think if I did a bit of shading here, a bit of blush, and highlight the details in the face, it would probably look a bit more realistic. But I probably won't do that anyway, because I don't really plan on modifying my Black Series figures too much. Oh, let's see how the sabers fit in her hands, which is a big thing that I forgot to talk about. So let's get one saber. Okay, so the saber plastic is pretty soft, so might have to open the hand a bit. It's pretty tough to get the saber in the hand because both the hand and the hilt are so soft. So maybe that's not great. Yeah, the blade seems a little flimsy, although it's a softer plastic, which I guess means it's not as flimsy as if they used a very brittle plastic. But yeah, once you get the hilts in the hands, they stay there, which is good, because with Obi-Wan, the hilt kept coming out because he has a trigger hand, which is really, really strange. I guess she holds the blades well. How does she hold them? I forgot. I think she holds one backwards. I'm not gonna do that now. Yeah, she does hold. I think she holds her. Yeah, she does, doesn't she? She holds her hilts backwards, which I forgot. But there you go. Because of the hinge in the hand, you get quite a good amount of posability. You can do this, I guess. We're not sure how much she grew after the Clone Wars. I don't know what the height difference is supposed to be, but I guess it's right. She always struck me as quite tall in Rebels, so I thought she would be taller. But I guess it sort of makes... It's not like... I thought she would be taller, but I guess it still makes sense for her to be shorter than Anakin. And this is her beside General Grievous, who is gigantic. So that sort of fits with how their size difference was in the Clone Wars when Ahsoka fought General Grievous. So she still fits in quite well in like a Clone Wars setup. I'm still waiting for my Captain Rex figure, and I think he'll pair up really well with Ahsoka and with Anakin, because they were Captain Rex's commanding officers, Ahsoka and Anakin. So that would fit quite well, I think, and with General Grievous as well. Even though Anakin himself never encountered General Grievous in the Clone Wars, which makes sense because the first time Anakin meets Grievous is during Revenge of the Sith. So I guess I'll see you in the next video. The next thing I'm going to be unboxing is Emperor Palpatine in his throne, which is an Amazon exclusive. So that should be pretty exciting because I've been waiting a long time to have a throned emperor. So yeah, see you then. Bye.